Cool, what's up, what's up? Oops. So, just getting everything in order. Think I can start narrating what my plan is, but basically, the first thing that I want to do is I want to do my Sprite of the Day, which is the every day I do a little pixel art sprite. Not necessarily all of them are going to get into the game. The general idea is that some amount of them will get into the game, and those ones are going to. It kind of gives us the opportunity to have a huge amount of characters to choose from when designing quests, and basically get to do a little bit of gardener pruning technique when it comes to managing the different characters. Cool. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to switch to a sprite, and I'm going to get a canvas open. I'm just thinking for my inspiration, and I'm a little bit phlegmy, so I'm just going to get a glass of water. 1 second. Cool. Sweet. So I'm thinking, what is my inspiration for today? What I want to do in terms of character. Normally, what I do is I've got a Pinterest board that I kind of use to give me ideas. So I'm going to see if there's anything interesting there, just real quick. Because even just sometimes a flash of inspiration from it can help. Okay, I think I know what I want to do, even just from having a very quick look at that. So I'm going to get one of our base characters. So we're going to go to monsters, and I think I've got man and woman. Fantastic. So now we're going to grab this as our base. Okay. Cool. So what am I feeling? I'm feeling like I want to draw a kind of soothsayer oracle type character, humanoid, possibly as part of the Novus Pax Romanus continent. So let's just get a skin color base here. And I'm kind of feeling purple, referencing how the Romans used to kind of dress their royalty in purple. And then what we'll do is we'll do something like this. I'm feeling something like that. So this is kind of like Oracle toga style, soothsayer royal regalia, and then maybe we'll do a little, just a little darker color around the waist. Possibly some jewelry. Or we're gonna... What do we do? Earrings. What do we do? 2 pixels for the earrings. A little bit of gold with a ruby. I don't know if that reads well. I feel like it takes up too much of his face. Maybe just in the hair. Like a kind of Damascus headband. I think that adds to it. So the next question is, do we give them a staff? Are they going to be an offensive magic user? Do we give them a wand? I'm leaning towards like a kind of staff. Maybe. Maybe something like this. A kind of wooden staff with a vine that's twisted around it. Or maybe make it a thorny vine. That could be a little soothsayer symbology to it. And then we'll just pick up her arm, and that'll make a lot of sense. So, just get rid of this. Do that. Awesome. Cool. And then we just give it its outline. And that is our daily sprite. I'm quite happy with our nature oracle. Awesome. Cool, so now we're going to save this as a nature oracle, and we're going to definitely have this cool vine staff be a drop from a boss at some stage. I think, ooh, I made a mistake. I accidentally overrode Woman 2. The good news is Woman 2 is not a super unique sprite. However, I still want this, so as a unique thing, with a unique name. We're going to call this Oracle. And then we're also going to export it 1,000 times bigger. We're just going to call this Oracle Big, which we're going to put on the Discord. So while I do that quickly, I'm just going to get the server up and running so we can test it. Oops. Cool, so server's working fine. I'm just going to drop the large oracle onto the Discord. Fantastic. I definitely feel if I'm doing nature oracles with kind of entwined staves, I'm gonna have to have a appropriate Stonehenge druid type area that's going to exist on our Roman continent that will, I think, connect the theme there. So quite excited for that. I think that's going to work quite well. Also very happy with lifesteal grenades, so their implementation has gone excellently, and as long as I hit over 10, I'll gain life. I don't think I can hit over 10 on a slime. Amazing. Well, I mean, a regular slime I can on a lightning slime, but they're just pesky. Cool. So I didn't really have a hugely structured plan for the stream. I just wanted to jump on for a little bit, see who wanted to chat and hang out, and also wanted to possibly do some of the other goblins, because by doing the base for the goblin yesterday, I should be able to use it to animate the other goblins, so that'll be quite a nice start. So I think that's probably the next thing I'm going to do. So if I go to enemy animations and I go to the Goblin Berserker, we can reveal that, and this will be the sprite sheet that we're working on. This has the entire animation of the goblin. This is very convenient because we actually have a lot of goblin variations that don't differ too much from the general idea here. So this means with some minimal efforts on a kind of goblin by goblin basis, we should be able to cover our entire like suite of goblin characters, excluding the ones that are bosses, specifically Goblin Ramsey and Jamie Gulliver. And for those who do not know, we have two chef-based goblin characters in the game that compete with their cooking skills, and it's very funny. Cool. So first things first, we're gonna jump to our Unity project and look at our existing goblins, see who's going to be a good candidate. So immediately the Goblin Champions is going to be the easiest because it's mostly a color and weapon swap to get it working. Now any goblins that aren't wielding weapons are going to be a little bit more complicated because we have to change some of the fundamentals of the attack animation. So to show what I'm talking about. So here we have the Goblin Champion. Obviously we're going to do a sprite switch. So I suppose might as well just do this. Oh, I always make the mistake there. So a few changes, like one is that, you know, the goblin's legs obviously straight down. Oops. They're equipped with a steel shield and a steel sword, and they have slightly different coloration on the top and their eyes. So I think step one is to recolor the eyes. So I'm going to grab that. Now if I go to my Berserker, I think I'm using the same greens, I'm pretty sure I am. Now I can quite simply just hit this, make sure it's not continuous, and then we'll get the full eye color change. Grab the shirt. I actually think the shirt is the same color, pretty cool. Nice matching there. Shirt takes over. Grab the pants. I think these are the correct pants anyway, yeah. And then just grab the collar of the shirt. Okay, cool. So we need to change the axe. It's going to be mostly pretty simple. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to just select these out piece by piece. So basically get exactly the sword that we want. And we're going to replace it, and then I will worry about erasing the differences later. And let's just make sure that kind of hand position is correct. So it is. So we're going to do something like this. So here we lift it up a little bit. So obviously we're going to flip it for these 3 frames. So I'm going to worry about that in a hot minute. But in the meantime, we're just going to kind of make sure that we get the sword in everywhere it needs to be. I think one of the advantages to working with such a reduced canvas with the 24 by 24 pixel kind of scale of the Jericho characters is that, yes, this kind of loose cross of pixels is indeed a sword. I kind of like how it creates a higher degree of imagination within the game, but that's obviously personal preference. Cool, so now we need to just kind of quickly erase the axe head and just insert the outline. Super simple, super quick. And make sure this is all coming across as it's supposed to. I like to work on the whole sprite sheet instead of multiple frames with copy pasting. I don't know why, I just find I'm more productive this way. I've tried both methods. I find there's something about being able to like visually see your progress side by side that I find is quite nice, and especially because a sprite I can just export it however I need it. This kind of, it's all just personal preference. And I think to that end I would say to anyone creating anything from a game to any type of art, do what you personally prefer, because then you're going to be most willing to do the most of it. And 9 times out of 10 the thing that's required of us is to do a lot of things, or just spend a lot of time, right? I think what I need to do is figure out how I can get some of the Jericho game music to be playing during these moments, because then like at least people have something to listen to uh, while I'm kind of focusing. And if we did it with the actual in-game music, there's no copyright issues or anything like that. Hmm. I think this sword is off by pixel. No, it is. Cool, we fixed that. Hey Shulk, how you doing, buddy? Have I caught you in the morning as you are waking up, just as I'm ending my day? That's good, man. Good to hear. Okay, cool. So that is our Goblin Champion kind of more or less equipped with a sword. We still need to add the shield. Um, I want to possibly make the shield bob up and down on the goblins. I don't like having the shield bob up and down on the player because I feel it's a bit distracting, but on enemies I think it's a bit better because you can see them. Oh, crazy, bro. Enjoy the camping. That's fun. Whereabouts are you camping, or is that too? Is that considered doxing? I won't accidentally dox you via live stream, but camping's fantastic, dude. I hope you have a great time. It's always nice to get within nature. It's very relaxing. I'm actually heading down to my parents' farm pretty soon with Hannah and the family, so it's gonna be quite nice to show her a bunch of nature as well. So we're looking quite forward to that. Oh, cool, bro. No, it must be convenient having a nice little campground near your house as well. That's cool. Oof, I'm a little bit tired today. Yeah, he can keep the shield at the same height. Cool. Let's see if I can be big brain. Because if I am not mistaken, the shield is not going to move during these animations. Therefore, we Gucci fam. Cool, there we go. Now I just have to put the outlines in, and then we are set. Gobby all geared up. Yes, this is one vicious goblin. I think you got to start worrying when the goblins are using swords and shields. I think if anyone's watched Goblin Slayer, you'll know. It's just bad news, bro. Because you gotta go, why are the goblins using tactics? It's probably because there's a hobgoblin or some shamans. It's a big problem either way. Shot Shulk, appreciate it. Actually, no, it's fun. It's like all the goblins are gonna be in soon, and Lifesteal's in as well. I finished that this morning, so I can actually show you. I'm gonna put this guy in, and I can show you Lifesteal. We'll go and Lifesteal this guy, but pretty chuffed with that as well. Doesn't feel too OP even with proper AoE, so also quite chuffed with that from a balance perspective. It's like Lifesteal's good, but Giant Squid's better. Giant squid bis, yeah. I think one thing we're also looking at for food is doing like tweaks to tick rates. So like for example in RuneScape we noticed that most food is 3 tick. So if you eat the food it's 3 ticks before you can eat again. With the exception of Karam ones, which are 1 tick. So you can like kind of eat with a Karam one and some food. Now we in Jericho have kept potions 1 tick. So you can 1 tick a potion, which is our traditional large health and regular health potions. But then we're keeping most food at 3 tick. But then what we've done on the engine side is we've actually allowed for the tick rate on a per food item to be set. So for example, we could have certain food that is 2 ticks after you eat, certain food that's 4 ticks. And because of the different tick rates, you can have different trade-offs on how much HP they give. So that was like another thing that we've been thinking about. And then we've also kind of completely rebalanced the amount of healing that the stews give, if that makes sense. So your curries and soups and roasts are completely different and are actually useful now. Because previously it was just like the second you could get lobsters through fishing, it was like lobsters were better than everything, so why even bother? Okay, cool. Here is our goblin. I think this is the champion. Correct. Okay, fantastic. So we're going to export this as goblin champion. And we might as well just put him in the game. A 1 tick burnt guppy sushi that heals 50. I mean, I think we're definitely just gonna add a place where you can go and burn food like intentionally so that people can just so that burnt guppies aren't the most valuable thing in the game because it's silly. I mean, it is funny though because you lose the ability to burn them so quickly. Yeah, you can get 30 on an account, then it's done. That's so funny when you think about it. But yeah, maybe like a lava pool, and it's like if you examine the lava pool, it says this is far too hot to cook on. But if you use food on it, you'll always just get a burnt version of the food. Because then I think people can collect burnt food, because I do think burnt food collections are a cool little idiosyncrasy of these kind of games. But I just think, you know, like have the burnt guppy, have the value be linked to trading guppies and people actually buying and selling them on the GE rather than cool 30 guppies per account, let's go. And then people make 1 million accounts to trade guppies, and it's very bizarre. Same thing with pebbles, man. Definitely just gonna have a shop with infinite supply that just sells pebbles. In fact, that shopkeeper's name will be Abe. Lol. Okay, where was I? Sweet, let's go to... So we got our enemy generator. Let's get the sprite in so long. How long will lifesteal last on an enemy? Lifesteal is a percentage based on the amount of damage you do, so it is not like a lasting effect. So if I do 10 damage, I will get if my weapon is 10% lifesteal and I do 10 damage, I will gain 1 life. If I have 10% lifesteal and I do 30 damage, I'll gain 3 life. So it's proportional and you gain the life the moment you deal the damage. So it's kind of a directly linked correlated system. So we're going to load up the enemy generator, and at the same time I'm going to load up the old version of Damascus so I can grab the stats. And in the meantime we can just set the sprites. lifesteal on poison. I haven't thought about double status effects like poison lifesteal yet, so just because that seems quite complicated, I'm not going to think about it yet. But right now, weapons can only have one status effect, so poison is poison, lifesteal is lifesteal. And again, if something is poisoned, and you hit it with lifesteal, you're not gaining life from the poison damage. You're only gaining life from the weapon that did the lifesteal damage, if that makes sense. Cool, so we're here. Let's check where our goblin champions are placed. Okay, wow. The goblin champions are exclusively residing within Port Haven. So, yeah, lifesteal and poison could be very overpowered. Again, maybe it's something we do, but then that's probably down the line. At the very least, I would think. Okay, cool. So basically, exclusively within Port Haven, we have Goblin Champions, and I would assume that would mean they're non-aggressive. So if I just type it in here. Okay, yes, they are non-aggressive. Fantastic. Pull this out. Okay. Goblin Champion. This goblin looks classically trained. Let's do this so we can all see that a bit better. So, 8 strength, 1 ranging, 1 psychic, 8 accuracy, 8 defense. You have, I guess, you're not aggressive. Attack range is 1, aggro range can be 5. Attack speed is 4, level is 8, and XP is 18. And health is 8. So quite aggressive, a little bit strong, nice source of XP early on, Goblin Champions. We're going to go with our classic 25, 15, 25, 15, 45, 25 setup. Goblin Champions are melee. Sprite is set, the non-aggressive, these are the stats. Super easy. Hit create. Goblin Champion created. So we've already created the sprite sheet, so we have to create the material and assign that. We also have to do the enemy locations. So let's do the enemy location first, and then we can do the sprite sheet right before we set everything up in the scene. So just going to save that. Open up our enemy world map. Open this with a sprite. Now, as we looked, all of our goblin champions are here. We kind of need to pick a color. I'm going to go for like a yellowy green that feels goblin-y. This color seems good. Going to copy that hex code. Going to drop the hex code into the sheet. So if I go to enemy placement, got a lot of greens there. Make sure that none of my other greens have the same hex code. Fantastic. Cool. Add the green, put the color in, name it Goblin Champion. Jump back here, and it is this simple. Now that I have assigned this green to the Goblin Champion, I can start placing them. And as we saw, they were quite densely placed around Port Haven. And there you have it. bunch of Goblin Champion spawns, tightly packed in Port Haven. Save it. Go back to our Unity scene. As you will recall, we have just created our hex code. Jump to our enemy locator and add the hex code to the colors. There we go. It's done. Map's been changed. Save the scene changes. Hit play. And this will generate out our enemy location. Now we can put this on the server and our little gobbo will be ready to run around and do harm. But we still need to do a few more things client side before it's all ready. But in the meantime, we can drop our enemy location JSON as well as enemy data onto the server. So if we do this, this is enemy locations. Open this folder, grab our gobbos, paste this in here, and then we're also going to grab the actual data. Fantastic. So first things first, let's see if the server compiles. Previously we had 457 enemy instances. Now we should have 468. Fantastic. So that worked perfectly. Now what we want to do is we want to do our final client-side preparations. So if we go to the enemy, you will notice that if you look over here where I'm circling my mouse, the kind of enemy is lacking a sprite sheet. So we're going to add that sprite sheet. So the first thing we have to do is actually create it. So we're going to create it in enemy materials. We'll just grab one of these frogmen, take the frogman, copy it, rename it Goblin Champion. Grab the base map over here. So here's Goblin Champion map. Also at the same time, I'm finding out I forgot to do the import settings on the map. So we're going to do all of that. And fantastic. So that will import this map with no kind of texture compression, which retains the crispness of the pixel art. And if I jump back to the enemy material, as you can see, we have the Goblin Champion on the base map. Everything is named correctly. Everything looks appropriate. So we can jump back to our prefab, go to the mesh renderer, assign the missing material, and there we go. You can now see the kind of base goblin hit in here. And again, because we have animated the character within the set kind of frame rates that are predetermined by our kind of base enemy structure, which are the idle, walk, attack, run, and death animations, this guy will kind of automatically have all the main animations that we need. So, which means our final step is we go to the main scene, and we go to our enemy manager, which goes to 24 at the moment, and we simply add our Goblin Champion. And then, now we can go see if they've been successfully added to the game or not. And if this has worked, then we have a Goblin Champion. And I'm carrying a lifesteal grenade, so I can also show Shulk some lifesteal while we take our journey to Port Haven. Anyway, here we can already see the Goblin Berserkers sitting in the distance here as you come by. Very happy with their ears. These guys are aggressive though, so they will gang up on you. There we go. I mean, life still works. As you can see, I keep hitting 10s, so I'm actually getting quite a lot of life, which is great. Cool, so we're just gonna run past this river, avoid the hordes of enemies chasing me. especially the water slimes. Very aggressive little slimes. And there we go. I can see one. Little Goblin Champions. Fantastic. Wow, they look fantastic. I'm really chuffed with them. They really make Port Haven feel alive. Oh, so happy with the goblin ears. Oh, thanks, Shulk. Appreciate it, man. Oh, and here we can steal some bread. Oh, yeah. I mean, I need the HP. Fix that. There we go. So I'm stealing bread. And, yeah, let's eat. Let's fight a goblin champion. Oops. Okay, they're not very strong. Nice. Okay, cool. I also need to remember to animate the waves. So all of these waves here on the coast actually are going to flow in and out, which will definitely add a lot of personality. Also, Shulk, have I shown you the net animation? So this is your typical fishing rod, but do I have a... There must be a netted spot. Yeah, if not, I definitely need to add one. Okay, so I have not put a net fishing spot in Port Haven, which is an absolute tragedy and will be rectified shortly. But let me take a quick walk to Split City and I will show you a fishing net. And while we're walking, we'll just boop a few slimes for good measure. Boop. Boop. There we go. That was the kind of booping I was wanting. Oh, aggressive berserkers. I wonder how much trouble these guys are going to give new players. Oh, thanks so much, Shulk. Really appreciate it, buddy. That's the goal. Nice and cozy, welcoming. So this is our normal fishing rod. Catching fish, having a good time. And then I'm very pleased to show the fishing net. Fishing net, catching oysters. And then depending on my cooking level, which is incredibly low right now, should be able to cook some stuff. Yeah, dude, I'm pretty chuffed with the net. I think it's going to look awesome as well with the demonic rods and nets and tools. I also want to give the demonic tools a purple glow. So on top of being purple, they will actually have the kind of, they will have that kind of glowing effect to them. Because I think that's just going to feel good. Check, bro. Burnt guppies, just for you. Oh wow, I burnt 4. Oh wow, I've burnt a lot. I'm doing really badly. Okay, actually, I think I think 7 in a row. That was probably the world record for burnt guppies right there. If you think about it, this account is probably now just incredibly valuable on the burnt guppies alone. You're rich, yeah? Like 13 bonds, bro. Lol. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with fishing. So basically, fishing's in, cooking's in, metalworking's in, mining's in, woodcutting's in. Um, Obviously, how those are divvied up in terms of the skills is a little bit unique. But yeah, other than that, things are coming along pretty well. And then like a lot of the skills like jewelry, jewelry making, mechanics, it's just data entry. So yeah, man, it's really coming together. Oh yeah, dude. I love anything AFK. Like I'm literally AFKing runecrafting right now. Um, I'm a big fan of those kind of things that you can just do while you working or chilling or taking it easy. Also, the other thing is like now that we have, yes, 100% rare nets and rods, especially something to tier in between, you know, the base rod and the kind of like self-damaging equipment. Hello, Hannah. Yo. Oops. Oops. Cool. You want to say hi to everyone?
I want to watch videos.
We're not watching videos, we are the video. You can say hello, chat. Say hello, chat. Hello.
Hello, Mama.
Hello, mama.
Hello, Mama.
Very sweetie.
Hello, Mama.
Say hello, everybody.
Hello, Mama.
Say hello, everybody. Say hello, everybody. No? Yeah, no, you can say it.
I can't say it. Hello, Dada. Hello, Mama.
Hello, mama. Yes, yeah, I know she's a sweetheart. Well, I probably need to be wrapping up here. I do claim that I'm testing when I'm doing things like that, but in truth, I'm just playing the game at this point.
Hello, Mama.
It's actually getting really fun. So I'm quite chuffed with that. And good streams today, good progress on the dev. Really chuffed with lifesteal in slowly
Hello,
catch
Mama.
the monkey. Thank you, Hannah. Oops, don't unplug the microphone, careful. But cool, guys. Thanks for the stream. Shot for hanging out. And yeah, Hannah's a sweetheart. Yeah, she steals the show. Thanks so much, Shulk. Really appreciate your support, bro. You're always so kind. But sweet, everyone. Thanks for a great day and a great little stream. And I will check everyone later. And you know, have an awesome Saturday. And enjoy your camping, Shulk.